Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. Nina tells Willow 6 shocking words, and the impact is immediate, seismic, and irreversible. Willow Tate, poised to wed Drew Kane for the second time, halts the wedding in its tracks, leaving the entire room, and the viewers, staggering in disbelief. This is not the first time Willow has been blindsided in love, nor is it the first time that her decisions have left Port Charles reeling. The complexity of Willow's emotions, motivations, and strategies makes her one of the most unpredictable and fascinating characters in General Hospital. Her decision to walk away at the very moment when she was about to marry Drew a second time opens a Pandora's box of questions. Why was she even considering the marriage, and what role do love, strategy, and ambition play in her actions? To understand the shock of the moment, it's essential to revisit Willow's complicated history with Drew Kane. The last time she walked down the aisle to become his wife, she was not only grappling with the typical pre-wedding jitters but also with the revelation that Drew had been involved in a clandestine affair with her mother, Nina Reeves. The betrayal cut deep, a betrayal not just of romantic trust but of familial loyalty, trust, and the fragile bonds of parent-child relationships. Yet, in a testament to her capacity for forgiveness, or perhaps her calculated approach to personal gain, Willow found a way to reconcile with Drew, at least on the surface. Friends, family, and fans alike were stunned that she could forgive someone who had wronged her so profoundly. And now, with her acceptance of Drew's rapid proposal, shockwaves ripple through Port Charles once again. What adds further layers to this intrigue is the confession Willow shared with Elizabeth Baldwin shortly after Drew's shooting. Willow revealed that her renewed interest in Drew was not necessarily rooted in love or rekindled passion but rather in pragmatic calculations aimed at regaining custody of her children. This admission reframes her intentions entirely. It suggests that the wedding may not be about the heart but about strategy, leverage, and power. If her love for Drew is secondary to the practical benefits he offers, the audience must question every move she makes, every smile she gives, and every kiss she shares. Is Willow acting out of necessity, ambition, or desperation? Perhaps the answer is a complex blend of all three. The stakes are particularly high because the custody battle looming over Wiley and Amelia Corinthos is as much a battlefield of resources as it is a matter of parental love. Drew may not be their biological father, yet he has demonstrated a willingness to fight for their well-being with a ferocity that few could match. For Willow, this is a critical factor. She may have limited financial means, but with Drew's wealth and influence as a congressman, she gains access to legal avenues that would otherwise be closed to her. Affording a high-powered attorney, navigating the labyrinthine world of family courts, and exerting influence in ways that sway judges or jurors, these are privileges that come hand in hand with Drew's status and resources. In this context, her engagement to Drew can be seen as a calculated maneuver, designed to secure the safety and custody of her children, even if it comes at the cost of personal happiness. Yet, there's an even darker possibility lurking beneath the surface. Some fans and insiders speculate that Willow may not be entirely innocent in the events surrounding Drew's shooting. Could she have been the one to pull the trigger? And if so, how does that shape her motivations in returning to Drew's side? Michael Corinthos' proximity to the incident complicates matters further. Having been present when the shooting occurred, Michael may know, or strongly suspect, Willow's involvement. If he witnessed her actions, the question becomes not just whether Willow can maintain a facade of innocence but how she maneuvers within the treacherous currents of guilt, power, and survival. Marrying Drew, in this scenario, becomes a strategic necessity. Staying close to him ensures access to the investigation, allows her to protect her secrets, and positions her as a partner rather than an adversary or former lover. Money, as always in Port Charles, speaks louder than declarations of love. Drew Kane's considerable wealth, while not inherently nefarious, is undeniably a source of influence that Willow cannot ignore. She knows that his financial resources could tip the scales in her favor during custody proceedings, providing a level of leverage she could never achieve independently. By marrying Drew, she positions herself to access not only his money but also his network, his influence, and his ability to sway outcomes in ways that extend far beyond the courtroom. In this light, her decision is less about romantic fulfillment and more about the practicalities of survival, power, and long-term strategy. Could Willow be weighing the immediate discomfort of marrying a man she may not truly love against the long-term benefits of ensuring her children's safety and well-being? It seems plausible, and it paints her in a far more complex and calculating light than mere victimhood or naivete. Willow's predicament also underscores the broader theme of morality versus pragmatism. The question she faces is quintessentially human: how far are you willing to go for your children? How much personal sacrifice, emotional compromise, and strategic manipulation is justified if the outcome ensures the safety and security of the ones you love? For Willow, marrying Drew could be the lesser evil, a temporary concession made to achieve a critical end. Yet, this choice does not come without psychological cost. The dissonance between her public persona, the loving, forgiving partner, and her private calculations, the strategic, sometimes morally ambiguous actor, creates an internal tension that promises future drama, emotional confrontations, and shocking revelations. General Hospital's narrative often thrives on these morally gray characters, and Willow exemplifies this brilliantly. She is neither purely heroic nor entirely villainous. She operates in shades of gray that challenge viewers to reconsider assumptions about loyalty, love, and morality. Her actions compel the audience to ask difficult questions. Can the ends justify the means? Is love ever truly separate from ambition, power, or necessity? And perhaps most provocatively, if Willow's choices are shaped by survival instincts and pragmatic reasoning, how much of what we see is authentic emotion, and how much is performance? The timing of Nina's 6 shocking words could not be more critical in this calculus. These words arrive at the precise moment when Willow is poised to cement a union that is at once emotionally charged and strategically advantageous. The abruptness of her reaction, canceling the wedding immediately, signals that whatever Nina revealed pierced a core of Willow's calculations, forcing her to reassess not only Drew's suitability as a partner but the very plan she had meticulously laid out. Perhaps Nina's revelation undermined Willow's perception of control, exposed a vulnerability she could not afford, or presented a risk too great to ignore. Whatever the specifics, the effect is undeniable. Willow's agency, power, and plans are thrown into sudden uncertainty, leaving viewers on edge and desperate to understand her next move. The intersection of love, power, and survival in this storyline exemplifies the best elements of General Hospital: layered characterization, high-stakes emotional drama, and the persistent tension between personal desire and practical necessity. Willow's narrative arc challenges the audience to confront uncomfortable truths about human behavior. In life, rarely are choices purely moral or purely strategic. They often exist in a tangled web of conflicting priorities, emotional attachments, and long-term consequences. Willow embodies this reality in a heightened, dramatic form, making her actions both relatable and shockingly unpredictable. Willow's potential motives extend beyond custody battles and financial leverage. In a city where alliances shift as quickly as loyalties, being married to Drew could also serve as a shield against political enemies, social adversaries, and familial antagonists. Drew's position as a congressman provides both legal protection and social influence, resources that are invaluable in navigating the treacherous waters of Port Charles. Marrying him may offer Willow not just access to his wealth but also a form of social insurance, a buffer against threats she could not confront alone. Her pragmatism, therefore, is multidimensional. She is simultaneously a mother, a strategist, a survivor, and, in some respects, a player in a larger game of influence and power. Yet, even with all this strategy, the emotional dimension cannot be ignored. Willow's decision to walk away, even after years of heartache, trauma, and manipulation, indicates that she is still capable of profound emotional reaction. The collision between her intellect and her emotions is a central tension that fuels the drama. By canceling the wedding in response to Nina's revelation, Willow demonstrates that she is not entirely cold or calculating. She retains a moral and emotional compass that responds to certain truths with immediacy and intensity. This duality, strategic calculation tempered by emotional integrity, renders her one of the most compelling characters on daytime television today. The aftermath of this cancellation will reverberate across multiple storylines. Drew, blindsided yet again, must reconcile his own ambitions, desires, and emotions with the abrupt unraveling of his plan. Michael Corinthos, already a key observer of the unfolding drama, may find his suspicions validated, emboldening him to act in ways that will further complicate the web of alliances and rivalries. For viewers, the cancellation is not merely a single plot twist, it is a catalyst that sets in motion new conflicts, alliances, and strategies, ensuring that Port Charles remains as unpredictable and gripping as ever. In the end, Willow's story is a study in complexity, a reminder that human motivations are rarely singular. Love, revenge, ambition, and survival coexist within her, often in tension, often in harmony, and always with consequences that ripple far beyond her immediate sphere. Her choice to cancel the wedding, seemingly sudden, yet rooted in layers of history, strategy, and emotion, serves as a powerful narrative device that deepens character development, heightens suspense, and underscores the enduring allure of General Hospital. Willow Tate is not merely a character in a soap opera, she is a prism through which we examine the intertwined nature of human desire, power, and morality, a living testament to the idea that in Port Charles, nothing is ever simple, nothing is ever guaranteed, and everything carries the potential for shock, revelation, and dramatic upheaval. The brilliance of this plotline lies in its ambiguity. Viewers are left to speculate endlessly. Was Willow's renewed engagement truly about love, or was it a masterclass in strategic maneuvering? Did she act to protect her children, manipulate Drew, or secure financial and social leverage? Could her actions conceal darker secrets, including potential involvement in Drew's shooting? And perhaps most importantly, how will these revelations, calculations, and emotional truths reshape the relationships she holds most dear? The answers are far from simple, ensuring that every scene, every glance, and every whispered conversation carries the weight of potential consequence. As Willow stands at the crossroads of love, strategy, and morality, her decisions promise to reverberate for months, if not years, within the complex tapestry of General Hospital. Her story challenges assumptions, provokes debate, and keeps audiences enthralled. The 6 words from Nina were not just shocking, they were catalytic, forcing Willow to confront the tangled web of motivations, loyalties, and risks that define her life. In Port Charles, as always, the line between love and strategy, morality and pragmatism, innocence and culpability, is perilously thin. Willow Tate navigates it with all the cunning, vulnerability, and intensity that makes her one of daytime television's most compelling figures. And as viewers, we can only watch, speculate, and wait to see just how far she will go to protect what matters most. Even as Willow grapples with Nina's 6 shocking words, the question of why she would ever consider marrying Drew Kane a second time remains a central puzzle for everyone around her. To outsiders, it seems baffling. After enduring the betrayal of discovering Drew's affair with her mother, most would expect her to never look back. Yet Willow's world has never been purely emotional. It has always been a complex intersection of love, practicality, and survival. This duality defines her character and makes her choices fascinating, unpredictable, and at times, morally ambiguous. In her mind, love may be optional, survival, strategy, and control are paramount. The very fact that she considered walking down the aisle again indicates that she sees Drew not merely as a romantic partner but as a key player in a broader scheme, one that could help her reclaim her children, assert power, and even settle scores with Michael Corinthos. Michael's presence in this storyline adds layers of tension that cannot be understated. He is no stranger to the intricate machinations of Port Charles's elite, nor to the often dark undercurrents of family drama. If Willow was involved in Drew's shooting, or if Michael simply suspects her involvement, he is in a position of immense power over her. He could expose her, confront her, or manipulate her actions to his advantage. Yet, his approach thus far has been measured, almost cautious, suggesting that he understands Willow's complexity and potential for strategy. This silent tension between them is electrifying. Every glance, every word, every interaction carries the weight of unspoken suspicion and anticipation. Willow's decision to marry Drew could have been, in part, an attempt to place herself in a position where she could monitor Michael's actions while simultaneously shielding herself under the guise of romantic loyalty. Nina's intervention cannot be underestimated in its significance. Those 6 words she spoke were devastating because they struck at the core of Willow's plans. Mina has always been a formidable presence, a woman of influence, cunning, and ambition. Her words forced Willow to reconsider not just her marriage but her entire strategy. It is one thing to calculate moves based on love, money, and power. It is another entirely to have those calculations disrupted by someone with intimate knowledge of the players involved. Mina's insight and timing are precise, and she seems to understand that the best way to destabilize Willow is to make her confront uncomfortable truths, potential betrayals, or hidden risks. The ripple effect of Nina's revelation will likely extend far beyond the wedding, influencing Willow's next moves, Drew's reactions, and Michael's strategies. Drew Kane, for his part, is caught in a whirlwind of conflicting emotions and political intrigue. His wealth, power, and role as a congressman make him a highly desirable partner for someone seeking influence and resources, but they also make him a target. Drew's willingness to fight for custody, even for children who are not biologically his, highlights his loyalty and protective instincts, but it also underscores the transactional nature of his relationships. Willow understands that Drew's status offers her leverage she could never achieve alone. In many ways, she views the marriage not as a union of hearts but as a strategic alliance, a calculated partnership designed to give her access to the tools, influence, and power necessary to achieve her goals. Whether Drew realizes this or not remains unclear, but the tension between perception and reality in their relationship is central to the drama. The financial aspect of this scenario is particularly compelling. Willow's own means are limited. As a nurse, she cannot compete with the legal firepower available to Michael's team or other wealthy adversaries. Drew's money, however, offers a solution. By marrying him, she gains access to a network of influence, high-powered legal counsel, and the ability to engage in battles she could not otherwise afford. In Port Charles, money is not just currency, it is power, leverage, and influence, all of which are critical when navigating the treacherous waters of custody battles, political maneuvering, and social rivalry. Willow's pragmatic approach to the marriage underscores the idea that in this world, personal happiness is often secondary to strategic advantage. Yet even as she considers these practicalities, Willow must contend with the moral and emotional complexities of her actions. If she were involved in Drew's shooting, her return to his side carries an added layer of risk and strategy. She must navigate the investigation, manage suspicions, and maintain appearances, all while protecting her own secrets. This creates a high-stakes balancing act. Any misstep could lead to exposure, legal consequences, or personal betrayal. Her awareness of this danger demonstrates her intelligence, foresight, and capacity for manipulation, but it also heightens the tension, as viewers are left questioning whether she will succeed, fail, or be caught in an unpredictable twist of fate. The psychological dimensions of Willow's decision-making are equally compelling. Her internal struggle, between emotion and strategy, morality and necessity, creates a rich tapestry of conflict that drives the narrative. She is constantly weighing risks and rewards, considering the potential outcomes of each action, and anticipating the reactions of those around her. This strategic mindset, coupled with her emotional depth, makes her one of the most nuanced characters in daytime television. Her ability to operate in morally gray areas challenges viewers to reconsider assumptions about right and wrong, love and ambition, and loyalty and self-interest. The timing of the wedding cancellation adds another layer of narrative tension. Moments before the ceremony, when expectations, emotions, and social pressures are at their peak, Willow makes the dramatic decision to walk away. This is not just a personal choice, it is a public statement, a disruption of social norms, and a challenge to everyone in the room. The immediate shock experienced by Drew, the guests, and viewers alike underscores the stakes and highlights the unpredictability of Willow's character. Her decision is both calculated and impulsive, reflecting the duality of her personality, a strategic thinker capable of careful planning, yet deeply human, capable of emotional reactions that defy logic. The broader implications for Port Charles are significant. Willow's actions will have a cascading effect on relationships, alliances, and power dynamics. Drew must reconcile his personal feelings with the abrupt collapse of his plans, potentially influencing his future decisions and political actions. Michael may see opportunities to assert influence, validate suspicions, or manipulate outcomes in ways that benefit him. Nina's intervention sets the stage for future conflicts, as her knowledge, timing, and strategic acumen position her as a formidable antagonist, or perhaps a reluctant ally, depending on how the story unfolds. Each character's response to Willow's decision will ripple outward, creating a web of intrigue, betrayal, and shifting alliances that ensures the drama continues to captivate audiences.